Hi, my name's Beth Teisler, and I've created a military aviation resource guide for fans and enthusiasts who just can't get enough. Included in this guide will be some books, magazines, movies, museums, and databases to give you all the information you could possibly want on your favorite military aircraft. For books, I've narrowed the list down to one from each of the major wars or conflicts in aviation history. First off, 19 Minutes to Live, Helicopter Combat in Vietnam by Lou Jennings. Almost half of all helicopters and crew in the Vietnam War are lost. This is a first-hand account of the heroic role of pilots and flight crews in supporting ground troops during combat operations. Hornets over Kuwait by Jay Stout. A Marine F-18 pilot's account of the flying over Kuwait during Operation Desert Storm. This is an honest and sometimes brutal account of the missions, the perseverance, and the determination of the pilot. There's lots of description of the aircraft and flying maneuvers. Naval Aviation in the Korean War, Aircraft, Ships, and Men by Warren Thompson. This book describes the role of U.S. aircraft carriers in aircraft during the Korean War. Special attention is paid to the role of the F-7F Panther to defend against the greater number of enemy MiG-15s. On a Wing and a Prayer, the untold story of pioneering aviation heroes of World War II in their own words, by Joshua Levine. This is the true story of the original heroes of flight, the pilots of the Royal Flying Corps in 1914. Aviation was still very new, and these courageous men and remarkable aircraft forever changed the role of military engagement. Lastly, One Damn Island After Another, The Saga of the Seventh, by Clive Howard and Joe Whiteley. The 7th Air Force was formed out of the wreckage of the Hawaiian Air Force after the attack on Pearl Harbor. The 7th flew the longest missions of the war, entirely over water as they island hopped their way to Tokyo. Not a tale of glory, but of enduring spirit against all odds. Here are some of the popular magazines I've picked out. Air Force's Monthly. This magazine is published in Europe and includes military aviation from around the world. This is great for enthusiasts who want to know what other militaries are flying. It's available as a print or a digital. Aeroplane. This is a great choice for fans of the history of aviation. It maintains a strong focus on military aircraft, both in the U.S. and abroad. Lots of great modern day and archival photos of planes and stories from pilots and air crews from historical missions. Air and Space magazine. This is available also in print and online. The articles are specific to the aerospace industry for professionals and just everyday enthusiasts. This is an adjunct to the Smithsonian Institute's National Air Museum, and most of the emphasis on this is the human interest side of space and aircraft. It also highlights all the museum's collections. Combat Aircraft magazine. This combines editorial coverage and beautiful images. There's articles, opinion pieces, and archival photos, and military aviation news and features from across the globe. Here's some movie fans are bound to love. First off, Tora, Tora, Tora. This is a film from 1970. It recounts the days leading up to Pearl Harbor, told from both the Japanese and American sides, with an impressive amount of historical detail. Well, for Hollywood at least. It's considered a classic. Also, 12 O'Clock High from 1949. Once again, another classic movie. An American Air Force general stationed in England in 1942 has to whip a ragtag group of pilots into shape and produces one of the toughest crew of fighting aviators. This one actually includes real footage of World War II aerial battles. Next up, Top Gun from 1986. This is the modern classic military fighter jet movie. Cocky naval pilot gets sent to the prestigious Top Gun school, loses his Rio and his nerve, then fights his way back to save the day and get the girl. Real-life fighter pilots love to critique the flying in this movie, but they keep watching it and keep quoting it. I feel the need for speed. And lastly, The Right Stuff from 1983. This is the film adaptation of the novel by Tom Wolfe. It tells the story of the hotshot test pilots who became the first astronauts. It's the perfect combination of aviation and space program history for all the aerospace fans. Since I know how much you aviators love to get out there and actually see and touch those airplanes, I've decided to provide you with some museums that are of great interest and value located all over the United States. First off, the National Naval Aviation Museum. This is located at NAS Pensacola, which is considered the cradle of naval aviation. This is home to the Blue Angels flight demonstration team and where all naval aviators get their start. The museum hosts lots of real naval aircraft, movies in a giant screen theater, flight simulators, and a Blue Angels 4D experience. This is basically Disneyland for naval aviation fans, and admission is free. Located in Pensacola, Florida. The Air Force Flight Test Museum at Edwards Air Force Base is a must-see. This is where the right stuff aviators got their start. The museum is free, and you can sign up for a tour of the Edwards Air Force Base as well. However, you do need to schedule a general public tour, and you'll see that within the links on the references to access the museum due to the base's security. Edwards Air Force Base is located in the Mojave Desert in California. The Military Aviation Museum was located in the heart of naval aviation in Virginia Beach, Virginia. This museum boasts one of the largest private collections of World War I and World War II military aircraft. Most of the aircraft are airworthy still and flown at air shows and demonstrations throughout the year. And as a special bonus, they offer aircraft rides. The Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum, located in Washington, D.C., has exhibits, planes, art, interactive experiences, and lots of history, including the 1903 Wright Flyer. This place is huge, but if you want a little bit of everything, you won't be disappointed. The original location, as I mentioned, is in Washington, D.C., but there's now a second location in Chantilly, VA. Admission is free. The Southern Museum of Flight is located in Birmingham, Alabama, and it has a strong emphasis on military aviation history. There are diorama-type exhibits featuring aircraft and scenes from the Korean and Vietnam Wars, as well as a display honoring the Tuskegee Airmen. Admission to this is free to military and their families. Located in Birmingham, Alabama. Wings Over the Rockies Air and Space Museum. This has over 80 aircraft and space vehicles, 25 static displays, most of which are military aircraft, 3 simulators, and even a Star Wars X-Wing fighter. This is actually an actual 3/4 replica from the movie. It's just an hour north of the U.S. Air Force Academy in Denver, Colorado. Evergreen Aviation and Space Museum. There are lots of aerospace type museums to choose from, but if you're a military helicopter fan tired of the typical fighter jets, this is the one you'll want to check out. An impressive list of both well-known, like Huey, and less familiar Korean and Vietnam era choppers. Active duty military are free, and veterans get a $4 discount. It's located in McMinnville, Oregon. Here's some websites and online resources that are great for fans of military aviation. avgeek.com. This has up-to-date news and stories concerning all areas of professional, military, space, and commercial aviation. It has videos, interviews, articles, photographs. It's easy to visually navigate through the photo links, and most of the links are tagged to other subjects if you want to do some more in-depth research. Pinterest Buff Stuff has a collection of over 500 military aircraft photos, including specific plane parts like engines and wings, and some pictures of crew. You're able to sort through this site by category, like by jets or bombers or fighters, and the photos are a combination of both modern and historical. Military.com. This is aimed toward active duty retired and veterans. The emphasis on connecting community to news and benefits, and there's some stories about the type of aircraft. But you're going to have to search hard. The Aviationist. This is a web blog by a journalist and former military aviator. It includes videos, articles, and the latest news concerning military aviation and aircraft. Some of the videos of the military flight maneuvers are truly exceptional. There's also links to their social media sites. Northrop Grumman maintains a site for their company, as well as information on all the products they manufacture. This is one of the top companies in the aerospace field, and they have a significant section of their website is devoted to military aviation. You can search by the type of aircraft or by the type of program. This is really good for if you wanted to do some in-depth research. They have a lot of links to take you deeper inside. Flight Suite blog. This one gets rave reviews from aviators I know. It's written by military pilots from their point of view, and it covers all the highlights, the biggest news, and answers all the burning questions. Like, would you want Maverick to be your wingman? The Navy Blue Angels maintain a Facebook page that they keep up to date with all their upcoming shows, personal commentaries from their crew, and they even give you video highlights taken directly from the cockpit. They have over 1 million followers. Not to be left out, the Air Force Thunderbirds also have their own Facebook page. It's similar to the Navy site, but they have videos from their flights, and they give details on upcoming shows. But the Air Force has a little bit more of a sense of humor where this is concerned. They have a lot of little spoof videos and even a comedian talking about his flight with the Thunderbirds. CombatAircraft.com is a site for the hardcore enthusiasts. It was originally created for military personnel in the field, but it was caught on with buffs and hobbyists from all areas of aviation. This has lots of detail on aircraft, weapon systems, tactics, missions, and more. This is a pilot-to-pilot type of website. This concludes my resource listing. For more references and specific links to all the websites, museums, movies, magazines, and books, please use the link above to take you to the Google Doc, which will provide you all the information you need in a printed written format. Thank you so much, and keep flying.